Good afternoon, Speed Gaming, and welcome to another exciting race in the Zelda 1 Randomizer 2024 tournament. Week 3 of the Swiss Flags features two of our best runners matching up in the 2-0 round. On the left, Kingdahl. On the right, CJ. And on the tracking tonight, or this afternoon rather, is Seru X. And on the call with me, bbq.gov, I'm Leslie Pro. Hopefully you're all having a good day today. How are we doing today, BBQ?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Leslie?
Doing great. I'm usually at work at this time, so this is a treat that I'm able to be here for this matchup.
Oh, great to have you. I had this one circled on the sheet when the matchups for this week were announced because these are two excellent long-standing runners that are both 2-0. So the winner of this match automatically qualifies for the top bracket because this is a big field. There's over 80 participants in the field, so there's going to be kind of a top bracket and a bottom bracket when we get to brackets. But 3 wins get you in, so the winner's going to be 3-0. But the loser is not. They'll be 2-1, but they will be an opponent nobody in the 2-1 group wants to face.
Yeah, I was in the 0-1 group week 2, and I wound up against an opponent that nobody wanted to face. But you know what? Is what is. Hey, it looks like we're underway. And our graveyards are starting point. Remember, this is a mixed first quest overworld, so we're going to have to check all the spots between the two worlds. Well, the two versions of the game, rather, just to see where everything is. And we start with the power bracelet.
Yeah, and if you start up at the grave, that's one of the two items you would prefer to start with because you're relatively close at least, to a couple of checks that overworld item will open up. For those of you who aren't familiar with our flag set, our runners will start with one of 3 overworld blocking items, either the raft, the power bracelet, or the recorder. It's 1 in 3 shot, which one it'll be, as both our runners are farming for bombs at this point, trying to get these red Gurias to cooperate.
Good ice from either. And we have any roads right out the chute. Oh, there goes one Armo spot.
Well, in theory, these are good any roads because it's right by your start, but that first one's not great. They're not going to look at the others, at least right away.
That might have been a door repair that just got completely ignored.
Yeah, for the runner's sake, I kind of hope so. Our third any road spits us out on Candle Row, and fourth takes us to kind of the eastern forest down by the south coast.
I'm okay with this, personally.
Yeah, this isn't bad. I mean, both these runners are very experienced and know all the tricks of the trade. So if the any roads didn't take him anywhere useful, hi hints, we'll be back for you, I hope. But if it didn't take, if they needed to screen scroll off of Death Mountain, could they do it? Absolutely. But, it's just nice to be able to have this as available, particularly because we didn't start with Recorder.
So that opening cave wound up being in any road. CJ, our first bomb drop. Kingdahl, our first level. It is level 1. And it's a Triforce right away. Right? And with no bombs, Kingdahl's just going to grab it and go. Unclear if it's first or second quest or shapes, because the level 1 Triforce is in the same spot in both quests. Okay, based off of that room, it cannot be second quest, so let's rule that off. Looks like shapes front half, based off of that room, that CJ's in 3, and oh, this is key hungry.
Oh boy, okay, well I'm a fan of shapes generally, so shapes front half is fun. We're not going to know about the back half either until we see one of those last 3 levels, or we see any of the enemies like Stalfos or Ropes that behave differently in second quest.
There's a skeleton and it's not spitting a sword, so I don't think we have second quest in the back half. But that was a very nice Kananaki by CJ to get around that no key situation.
Well, almost necessary if you're in level 3 at this stage, at this early juncture, right? As Kingdahl finds level 3. Boy, our Armoses don't really have much of anything other than levels and non Armos items.
Wow, that's cold. First block, doesn't push.
Yeah, that's bait, unfortunately, and not in the kind you can buy in the store, but tricks you into clearing that room only to find out that, nope, you ain't getting a darn thing. Kingdahl trying to see if he can replicate CJ's Kananaki. Nice!
Very well done. Meanwhile, folks, name that ink blot. I'm gonna say that is the upper bust of a Bothan from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, and CJ already has level 3 Triforce.
Grab that out of a pancake. That's a very specific ink blot. I was gonna go much simpler. I was just gonna say that's a flower. But it's early. You know, we have 6 ink blots to look at. We're gonna have fun with this.
Yes.
Oh, there's some bad news for our runners at the push block spot. 26 is our medium secret. That's 1 off the minimum.
That is not great. But what is great is CJ uses a bomb, finds level 4.
Interesting that 1, 3, and 4 are kind of all over here, and we've seen them all at once. Those are usually, the smaller dungeons are usually the ones you want to find. There, as Kingdahl gets his map out of 3, and sees the Bothan / flower. You can call it whatever you want. And Kingdahl's going to grab his Triforce out of here.
Chat's coming up with some other good names too. Pez Dispenser, Skeleton Key, and we just hit a door repair. That looked to be 15 if I saw that correctly.
That's good news. I mean, if you're going to have a tiny medium secret, the least the game can do is not take that same exact amount away in a door repair charge.
And now CJ finds level 1. Might be able to do more here with bombs, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's going to see this Triforce here. Be very careful not to pick it up. Well, he's just, okay. I was wrong. I thought he was going to at least try to bomb a wall or two, but given that he knows its shapes, maybe that's less appealing?
No, he's coming back into play. Find the bomb hole.
Okay, I'm sure he was trying to pirouette that front room there to try to see if he could go down. You can't. And, oh, nice. That's a fun little Zelda trick there. If you up an A or take the Triforce out of a room where the Rupee boss is, and you go back in, it will respawn. And, oh, okay, we got another ink blot here. What do we got this time, Leslie?
Well, right now what we have is a Gleeok. A 3-headed Gleeok on 3 hearts, and CJ's doing door strats to try and take it out.
Yeah, that's the lower risk play, and it's working out well for him. Our enemies in this flag set are plus or minus 2 HP, but the bosses, however, are going to remain the same vanilla HP, so there's going to be no variance there.
And chat saying Weather Vane from Link to the Past. Works for me.
Okay. So, since you mentioned Star Wars, I've got a Star Wars question for you, because I am fairly Star Wars illiterate, as that's a heart container in the stair for CJ in level 1.
And as CJ would say, you gotta have heart.
Or as they'd say in as Yoda would say, heart you must have. You can say that too.
Yes.
But is there a character in Star Wars that wears like a mask that looks kind of like has a snifter on it on the front? Or is this a different universe I'm thinking of?
Nice bomb to take out the Wizrobes there. I don't know. Oh, there's another heart. So level 1 being 2 hearts. Kingdahl picking up a candle at a take any. Which seems like the smart move here because, ooh, 2-door Monty. Gross.
Yeah, you're not Kananaki in that, unfortunately. Well, you get your key back at least. That's not nothing. Will we have a triple heart one? Well, not in that room we won't.
That was a good clear, though.
Yeah, he did
That
the
was a
smart.
nasty enemy set. Wizrobes and Lionels.
Yeah, and he did the smart thing from a combat perspective there. Once he was able to get those Wizrobes out of the way, stood in the middle between those two shooters to try to take out the other enemies as much as he could, because that stops those shooters from firing at you.
And unfortunately, CJ is going to be key blocked out of one because he chose the key to the north, and unfortunately, that was Zelda's room.
Ew. Well, the good news on Kingdahl's side is that keys are cheap. Is he going to buy a key here? Yes, he is.
The purchase makes sense, especially with how key-starved the start of this seed has been.
Yeah, he doesn't have to buy. Well,
Whoa!
hey!
CJ's stopping at bucks, 147 rupees, and a spin.
Well, that has to be a huge relief for chessjerk. Kingdahl will eventually find that. He's not abandoning the coast check. Was that a white sword? Is the white sword item?
That is a white sword on the white sword screen, and when CJ finds that, that's going to be a welcome find.
Okay, so, lack of money. We're solving problems one by one. Combat, you can buy keys now. Let's see, what's CJ going to do? He took a peek in level 4, but is he going to pirouette this? Yes, he is.
Yep. Play makes sense, really.
Right, so this is a shapes 4, so unless this is segmented, if this block pushes, it'll be our item. Oh, no, I take that back. Instant Triforce.
Yeah, 3 Triforces in under 11 minutes. What is this seed?
Yeah, I mean, yep, and CJ's going to go right back in. I was just going to say, found a couple hearts in 1, but really haven't found much else in terms of other items that you can get right now. So digging out these 2 items here in this shapes 4 is probably a smart move.
Yeah, so that Triforce, that push block room could have been a push block room, but that was the Triforce room, so that stopped that.
I think this has to be the Armos item. Yeah, it does here at Death Armos, and it's the blue banana.
Not terrible at this early point in the seed. I know some folks do not like the bloomerang, but at an early point in the seed, it's hard to say no. Especially at 3 hearts. But that's just me. Oh, look at this.
Ooh.
This level 4 is indeed segmented.
Some spiciness. Yeah, I'm with you on the blue boomerang. Especially in the first half of the seed, your ability to stun enemies when you have 3, 4, 5 hearts definitely makes up for the fact that it takes up an inventory spot. Kingdahl's found level 9 on his side. Where is he? He's down at the bottom of the river.
And based off that room location, that can only be one of 2 things. That can either be a Shapes 9 or a First Quest 9.
Okay, and if it's Shapes front half, it can't be Shapes back half. So 1Q it is. So a 1Q back half is good news, bad news, right? The good news is you avoid the 2Q spirals of doom that everyone but a couple runners detest. The bad news is that you have First Quest 9, which is monstrous and has exactly 6 sets of transport stairs. So you're gonna have to do some work on the back end, but at least you avoid the spirals.
Yep, the only other part that you could get a little bit on the gross side, and this is just my own experience, is dealing with First Quest 7. There is a reason that First Quest 7 is called 33 Rooms of Schadenfreude. Well, here's level 8 on Kingdahl's side. This could be our answer here, but back to 7. Yeah, it's 33 rooms, and the room randomization can do some pretty mean things to it. And speaking of mean, how about a Patra in the way of where you would go up? And we got a boomerang that CJ picks up. Kingdahl snipes the old man.
Can't say I blame him there. But yeah, no, 7 is, the kids say it's a thick boy. Because it is. It's big. It can throw lots of curveballs in your way, and if you're not careful, it can be a big time sink. So A slightly less bad version of level 9 in that respect, but yeah, we'll be interested to see what our runners do. Kingdahl finds a way around the Twisty Patra and is able to bomb up and finds a ladder block. Welp.
Not getting around that, unfortunately. Trying for a better Dodongo spawns to farm some bombs just by smoking them.
He may be hoping that this room drops if he can get this Dodongo to cooperate, too. But it's not. It's a Troll Dongo.
I gave the map, and that confirms a second half first quest.
Yeah, and Kingdahl's not going to spend that last key to go to that one room on the bottom left of level 8. It's low percent. It is possible that is an item, or that is the one set of transports, as Kingdahl finds the letter and picks that up. But it's kind of a low percentage play, and keys have been tight, so I get why you wouldn't want to do that, at this stage at least.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that either, unless I was really running out of options. As CJ screen scrolls, and he's about to find the Bloomerang.
And he's going to immediately pass. You know what? I can't say I blame. It's at Death Armos. You got to dodge 8 different enemies. And he has, sneakily, he's snuck up on close to blue ring money if he wants it.
Yeah, it could be at blue ring money if it rolled minus 11, or better, which is possible, but not likely.
Kingdahl took a death, and he's back at start. He's going to push the block here and see if this is anything. It's just a casino. Now that he has a full complement of bombs, Kingdahl may be inclined to do some Death Mountain digging here. What do you think?
Seems like a good play to me. Although the one thing that surprises me right now is CJ has not found a candle. He has plenty of money to purchase one. He just hasn't done it yet.
Yeah, he also hasn't found a take any. So, well, there's our candle price. That's not great.
There's our blue ring price, and CJ is just a touchdown minus the extra point away. And CJ picks up the heart because gotta have heart. And there's level 2 on Kingdahl's end.
All right, slightly. Oh, well, bad news. Oh, we got some more bad news. Those guys don't go down to one bomb shot. What? Ooh, that is. Wait, what is that?
That was the white sword. So what did we see? Oh, that must have been the magical sword we saw on Kingdahl's end. Whoops, my mistake. Kinda hard to tell the two apart sometimes.
Yeah, mine too. And yeah, when you have the setting that we have here with the book being oh, you can't select that. With the book unlocking the ability to understand old men, yeah, it can be kind of tough to tell. Especially when you're using different sprites than we're used to, for folks who don't know. Kingdahl's switched his sprites to the NES Ice Hockey sprites, which I find adorable.
That wasn't the recorder we saw, that was the white sword, or in this case, a steel hockey stick.
I mean, that's just as painful to get hit with, I would think.
I would say a bit more painful, just based off of how thick the metal can be, but that's just me.
Nah, no, I think you're probably right about that. Oh, another room. Oh, boy, another room full of annoying Vires and keys. Oh, that's rough. chessjerk, meanwhile, is going to get his paper here. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to buy a potion. The potion is slightly less attractive to our runners because we don't have second quest enemies. So it's not to say that they won't buy a potion, particularly if they're low on heart containers. But as Kingdahl gets locked in a Dig Dogger room. Oh, but he has the recorder.
Yeah, chat called out that he had the recorder right at his skates, so he was able to pick it up.
Oh, good. Okay, keys under the doormat. No, don't worry, everybody. Well, one key's under the doormat. The ladder, however, remains to be seen where that is.
However, Recorder's a great pickup in mixed first or second quest seeds, or any mixed seed really, because now you have access to up to 10 potential Recorder spots, and in mixed, level 2 in first quest is a Recorder Lake as well, so that's guaranteed, pretty much.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a seed yet where that's not the case.
Yeah, and in Mixed Quest, of the overworld blocking items, starting with the Recorder is probably the best of the three because not just because of the ability to transport you over the overworld once you get a couple of Triforces, but also, as Kingdahl is going to grab his Triforce out of 2, also because it unlocks so many spots on the overworld that you can check immediately. And I would imagine, even though Kingdahl's on Death Mountain, once he's finished with this, his next order of business will be to start checking some Recorder spots.
Now, you mentioned Recorder spots. There's actually a couple on the mountain itself. There's an extra power bracelet spot on West Death Mountain in Second Quest Overworld.
Yep, and the extra Recorder spot in Second Quest is one screen to the right. Nice screen scroll there by Kingdahl. One screen to the right of Spectacle Rock.
Yep, so there is potential there. Now, the push block spot didn't push. So, second quest spots and first quest spots are 50-50s. Oh, CJ leaves some money behind. Ugh. Second quest 9 opens for Kingdahl, and that's a potion shop. And CJ finally purchases a candle.
Yeah, 20 minutes in, you kind of have to be a little bit worried that you're like, oh, and he's gonna buy arrows too. I like this.
He's going for the whole 9 yards.
Hey, if you literally left $100 on the floor because your wallet was full, yeah, I'd want to empty my wallet as quickly as I could too. What would you like to buy today, sir? Yes, I would like to buy all of the things.
And chat point asking, so is Max a goalie stick? Yeah, I can see that.
I think all three of them are goalie sticks. All right, 0 for 2 on the checks on the Recorder checks for Kingdahl, but that white sword is able to take out those red dark notes in one shot, which has to feel nice.
Looks like Kingdahl. I thought he was heading for Recorder Lake. Not yet.
Barely a Pepsi day.
Well, CJ could only afford the blue, could not afford the red, so the picking up of one potion certainly makes sense. Oh no, Kingdahl gets taken out by a dark nut in the overworld, back to start.
Yeah, the good news is that's not too far away for him. chessjerk is over in the Lost Hills, which I don't think either runner... Well, no, I take that back. We have seen Kingdahl pick up the heart container here, and chessjerk, gotta have. That's what he's going to grab as well. Alright, Kingdahl into 4 now with some added weaponry, having the white sword power, so he should be able to move a little bit quicker than chessjerk did here, but I would think not by very much.
As the Pulse Voice are still going to take a number of hits to bring down.
Good maneuvering on Kingdahl's side, and he's going to get the news that this is not our item. It is, in fact, a segmented level 4. Oh, CJ's just found our third and final large secret. So if you were worried about CJ being temporarily poor, don't worry. He's got enough money to go buy one of everything again.
Certainly does, but he might save for a blue ring or a bomb upgrade, assuming he comes across one.
Yeah, bomb upgrades, particularly in a bigger later dungeon, can pay off in spades, depending on what you're up against. Particularly in a big 9 like our runners are going to face today. So I would not be surprised at all, as Chester's going to be up to 9 hearts here, which has to feel both good and on brand.
It certainly is. And our tracker calling out all 4 take any's, I think. So that's a possibility.
Yeah, according to my notes, that's what we've seen as well. More money for Chester. He knows that's not the. He knows that's not a large secret because he's seen all 3 of those. And while you've got some money in your pocket, why not? Gentlemen, won't you have another Pepsi?
Oh, and Kingdahl's Goma blocked unless there's a workaround.
Oh, I'm not sure. Did we see this when Chester was in here? I don't recall seeing the Goma.
Neither do I. Unless chat saw it and we didn't, which is possible. Okay, so CJ didn't go that far down. So this is new. This could be something important, like bomb out of the Goma room to get the bow sort of deal. CJ's back into 1. He wants that 3rd item. I don't blame him. And there's the map. Well, that's an interesting ink blot.
All right, Leslie, what you got for this one?
That looks like a UFO that is losing stability because it jettisoned part of itself.
Ah, okay. For those who play board games, it's the Galaxy Trucker approach to flying a spaceship. Oh, a room full of bunnies in a reverse C. Now, if the game had a dirty sense of humor, yeah, I would put the bow or the silvers behind this stupid room full of bunnies.
No. I got one worse. If the game had a really bad sense of humor, the bow would be behind here and the silvers would be behind a Goma, blocked by a ladder, blocked by a dig dogger.
Yeah, I mean, that if you want to get really mean, that is definitely how you do it.
I've been around someone who could come up with some weird stuff like that. Oh, and chat throws in a rat spot. Come on now, I was sparing him that at least.
Well, it is our push block. It is our item. Okay, well, you can't shoot that from a bow, but you can use that. That's the any key.
Hey, we take those. And apparently CJ got the wand out of level 1. That's worth going back for.
Okay, so that combat advantage is just snugged up. When CJ makes his way over to level 2, he's gonna dip back into 4. Words are hard. Dip into 4. He's gonna.
Words are hard, and you know what else is hard? Inadvertent phrasing.
Yeah. We're still doing phrasing, aren't we? Yeah. Okay, so CJ saw in here he has the Triforce and he saw the banana on the floor. He did not see the stair item, and it's right here. So he's going to get his good news about the any key here in about 45 seconds, I think.
And that clock's gonna speed things up tremendously, because at 2 hearts, 1 bop would have finished them off.
Yeah, that's a really good feeling. In a room like that, where you're dealing with bunnies anyway, is annoying, but having to deal with them in a room where you have limited mobility is also not my idea of a good time. CJ's going to get his Any key out of 4, and he'll be giving deuces to this level. Off he goes.
And that's a good thing. He did that without even seeing the Goma.
And while our runners are retracing each other's steps, Kingdahl back into 1. He has not seen, if I recall, any of the 3 items in here. So he has a lot of incentive to dig here. As chessjerk's back in 3, we saw neither item out of 3. So our runners are not so much worried about the levels they haven't seen in 5, 6, and 7. They're interested in the items they haven't seen. Oh, CJ taking an intentional bop there. I think he's wanting to set up a bomb for us.
Maybe. Yep. Nailed it.
Very nicely done. The Moldorm is the perfect enemy to do that against because it counts 1 through 10, so you don't have to worry about what count you're on. You just take a little bop and kill everything but the last little bit, hit it with a bomb, poof, you get a 4-pack.
And it's easiest done when there aren't BMOS in the room trying to snipe you.
Ooh, yeah. BMOS are nobody's friend. Kingdahl's going to get his stare heart out of level 1.
His first heart container almost a half an hour in, and he's still playing extremely well, which really goes to show how good Kingdahl is at this game.
Kingdahl's combat and his routing are top-notch. There's a reason he's 2-0. And whoa, that's a big find in 3.
Not to cut you off, but that is a must-have because we know level 8's ladder blocked.
I gotta be honest, I was not expecting to find the ladder just pop out of the floor in level 3. That took me by surprise.
Yeah, same here. So with that coast heart now, if CJ goes back for it, would give him a 20% chance of grabbing the magical sword. Which we saw on Kingdahl's side. I don't think CJ's seen it.
Yep, it's in the Lost Woods, and I think CJ saw part of the Lost Woods, but I think at that time he didn't have a candle. So yeah, he needs to he'll find that eventually, probably. That room I don't think we saw on Kingdahl's side in 3 either, but Room of Gels turns out to be nothing.
This could be a problem. What if our item in other item in 3 is recorder blocked and CJ hasn't found 2?
Yeah, that's a feels bad. You've already been in here more than once, and having to, even though it's small, having to triple dip any dungeon just feels gross, especially when you're up against the caliber of competition that both our runners are up against today.
Yeah, absolutely.
More bombs on chessjerk's side. Kingdahl wants to clear this out and get that heart. He's got 2 out of the 3 items. He doesn't have the wand yet.
He's close to it. Which the saving grace for Kingdahl here is CJ had to return again to level 1 just to pick it up.
There it is. Yeah, no, and this was, and you called it at the time, it was a kind of a 2-door Mahdi situation. 2 key doors, only one of them works, and he picked the wrong door, so he had to come back. I think that, does this room pretty much have to be the floor? Oh, no. Maybe it doesn't? Does chessjerk think that the floor items Dig Dog are blocked?
That would be my conclusion at this point, because that Dig Dogger was in a reverse C, so the stair item is recorder blocked. If Kingdahl gets to back to 3 before CJ, and that is the bow or the silvers, then that is a huge break for Kingdahl, especially knowing what's there. Oh, hi, Red Ring! But he needs 6 hearts. How cruel.
That is just tantalizing. Well, we wondered where our white sword item was, and it's up. Look at the screen it's up on where you're trapped in here. That's so mean. Oh, wow. Well, the game's got jokes. We say that pretty much every time. Yeah, chessjerk has not found this yet, and he's not going to until he finds level 2. Kingdahl setting up shop here in the middle of this 1Q8 screen. He looked like he wanted to take a face off there for a second, but he actually wanted to fire as we find level 5 on chessjerk's side.
No doubt what Kingdahl is taking. Bomb upgrade. Let's see what we get first. We're going to check some walls. 1 rupee higher for the same amount. Okay.
All right. So Hyrule has instituted a 1 rupee sales tax. That's a book on the floor. Okay.
This could be a huge find for CJ because we need that book to understand stuff like this. Hints on where dungeons are.
That's a very useful hint, and CJ doesn't know how useful that is because Kingdahl has seen a good chunk of Death Mountain already. But I don't think he found level 7, at least not according to my map. So that raises the question.
Didn't.
Yep, Kingdahl's going to get his red ring right here. So that may be, depending on what part of Death Mountain CJ ends up deciding to dig first, that could be an opportunity for him to save some time.
Yeah, if he goes towards Spectacle Rock, which is where I think it is, then he definitely saved time. Oh, we got a compass.
Okay, it's just 2 rooms away. That's not bad at all. We've got one of the 2 items. It would not surprise me, given how our runners have played so far, as Kingdahl's found level 5, if chessjerk takes that and jets, he's going to try and respawn this room, trying to get the blue Wizrobe out of the way.
Yeah, that's a gross room to fight a blue Wizrobe in. And no dice, so you gotta deal with it.
A nice bomb.
CJ almost got wide forced.
Yeah, oh, he wants those bombs. It also wouldn't surprise me if he left it here. That room will not respawn because of the presence of those bubbles, unless he leaves the dungeon. So yeah, he's incentivized at this point to nose around, see if he can find this stair. Now, this could be a transport.
But it's alright, I mean, it's a red candle, and CJ is not interested.
Yeah, it's red, but in his mind, he does not gotta have it.
Yeah, well, to be fair, in the annual Valentine's Day race, that is one of the items you have to pick up, because it calls for all the red items.
All the red, yeah. Now, that is a fun race, the Valentine. You know, the kind of specialty races like that are like the Christmas ones where you have to pick up all the blue stuff. Those are just fun variants to play of a fun randomizer to begin with.
And CJ first to get the Triforce out of level 5. And yes, while the book does grant wand fire, the ability to understand what everybody is saying is far more important.
Oh, without a doubt, especially in this flag set. Both our runners are not shy about using bombs to take these guys out, especially with 12 bombs capacity. CJ finds 8. Let's see what he's gonna do. He's gonna dive.
As he should, because first, hi Patra. Second, he'll be able to see that key lock that Kingdahl wasn't able to go to, so that could be an advantage for CJ.
Oh, if there's something in that room, absolutely. Even if it's just the transport stair, that could definitely help out CJ. Particularly if there's something good buried here somewhere. There's that red candle. Yeah, he doesn't want it either. Oh, a map. Hey.
Oh, that is a massive hint, and I think we just narrowed where to play. Hold that thought. I was about to speak way too soon.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in 3. That next room that Kingdahl didn't go into is Dig Dogger blocked. Yes. So the longer CJ takes to go to level 2, the more this favors Kingdahl, because we now know Kingdahl doesn't, CJ does, and we do. The recorder is blocking the bow.
And that can mean one of 2 different things. I was reminded of this in a practice seed recently. That can mean either that the level in which the bow is located is flute blocked, or it can mean that the room in which the bow is located is blocked by a dig dogger. So I'm looking on my map to see. I don't think we've seen any levels that are flute blocked, but we haven't seen 6 or 7. It could. But you're absolutely right that it very clearly could mean that dig dogger in 3 is blocking specifically the bow.
And our door repair message says that we've fallen for one of the 2 classic blunders.
That's weird, because does Hyrule know about land wars in Asia?
I don't know, but something tells me Hyrule wouldn't expect the Spanish Inquisition either, because nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition!
Exactly right. All right, CJ's found the Triforce innate, but he wants items, and he's gonna see if this room doesn't push, but it can bomb to the left.
This could push. It does. What do we have here?
Okay, it's 50-50. It's our transport.
Might as well knock out the other half of the 50-50 at this point. And that's towards the top of the lion. And yes, this is a first quest back half.
And this is the good news part of a first quest back half, is 8 is not that bad. Certainly better than its second quest counterpart. But even as compared to a Shapes 8, it's fairly manageable, and incentivizes runners to come in and dig the 3 items that are out of there.
Yeah, whereas if you're in Shapes, you want to try it, but it could give you the runaround. It's second quest, you really don't want to try it because it's gonna give you the runaround.
Just gonna say,
sort of a coin flip scenario here as we get an item. Oh, hi, silver arrows!
Okay, well, we were worried about the fact that the bow is recorder blocked, delaying CJ, but finding the silvers in a loaded 8, that's also helpful too.
And that is old news for Kingdahl. That does still happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, we say the game's got jokes, and yeah, that's some of them. Here's level 7, interestingly, on Kingdahl's side. So it is on Eastern DM.
Yeah, now, CJ knew of this, but didn't know of the location. So now one of the questions we have with First Quest 7 is... will the bait block come into play?
That's a question we haven't asked ourselves yet, is it? Boy, that is entirely possible. That room there, that fact that he doesn't have the ladder, that blocks exactly one room in First Quest 7. Kingdahl's going to exit, and is he going to try to pirouette?
Might as well try bombing to the other side while you're at it. And CJ did find the floor heart, but Kingdahl, he's bailing. I don't blame him, because this is a flute spot, and does open, which reveals hints.
Okay, well, there's some old news.
And the one he bought was really old news. Now, not as likely needed, JP, but it's still possible. Oh, I see. Get a hint and pirouette. Makes sense. Up, JP's right.
Yep,
JP absolutely right.
Yep, so no need for Arby's today.
Unless there was a chance of Gorillas in 9, and you needed something to bait them to another side of the room, because they will fall for the bait.
Yes, they are one of the 2 that will. Chessjerk's going to grab his Triforce out of here. So you said he's seen 2 out of the 3 items in here?
Looks like it as chat called out a heart on the floor.
Oh, and he got that hint about the bow being tutor blocked. So I think he has to assume fairly confidently that the bow ain't here, so no need to stick around and dig that third item out.
And chat asking a question that I was just about to ask myself. Where was level 2?
Oh man, they're asking about the one place I forgot to mark. Gleok returns with the bow. Is that what that's in?
That bow is in 8 and it's recorder block. CJ's gonna have to double dip. Okay, that hint about Goma having the raft is a good hint because now we know, based off of everything we know, that the raft is not required. Sail not to save the princess.
That's a really good point. Well, bow in 8 was a curveball I didn't expect at all. So, boy, the book hints paying off. Now, that makes it all the more imperative for CJ to find level 2 and for us here in the booth to know where level 2 was. If somebody knows where level 2 was, let us know. You know, toss a note in the chat, send us a carrier pigeon, because I'm curious now where level 2 is.
I mean, it's a bit cold where I live for carrier pigeons, but hey.
Yeah, put a scarf on him. They'll be fine. Ooh, so 8 has the full Kill Ganon starter kit. Oh my gosh! 1 in 5 mags.
Well, CJ's not going to be needing that white sword.
Yeah, that still is a good hint for him, though. You know, rules. It makes it all the more important that you don't need to. You can just chip and dip level 2.
Yes, but CJ's going to need the recorder to get back to 8 to get the bow. Now, the fact that the recorder would allow him to get back to 8 faster means having to leave wouldn't be so bad.
All right, more hints for Kingdahl. Play melody to obtain it. Yeah, that's old news.
Yeah, that one is definitely old news, without a doubt.
All right, so both are runners in different parts of Death Mountain. Here's level 6. Wow, 6 and 7 on Eastern DM.
And that's why CJ never found 2. He hadn't gone Western Death Mountain.
Okay, so Kingdahl picks up that raft on the floor in 6. He pretty much he's seen all the levels, I think, so he has to know that that's not necessary.
And there's the white sword, but CJ's gonna say no thank you because he already has the magical sword. Oh, this is gonna be mean for Kingdahl. He's ladder blocked in a room with a dig dogger and locked in.
Oh, that's
what calling out flute obtained.
Okay, so good news for chessjerk. So both our runners were, up until a minute ago, missing a critical item that's going to allow them to advance to level 9. Kingdahl still needs the ladder at a level 3. So the fact that CJ, if he can get the Triforce here relatively quickly and jet this too, see both items. There's the Triforce.
In Kingdahl's mind, he's probably thinking ladder could be, oh shoot, ladder could be here, so he might just clear this out anyway. Unfortunately, he's not going to find anything but a heart container, or maybe where the power bracelet rolled to, even though we started with it, it still generates in the game.
It does. So, of the items, we know where all the necessary items are. Of the items we have not seen the stair item in 3, stair item in 6, or either item in level 7.
And all but one of those are heart containers.
Yeah. No more no more goodie items that we can pick up unless you're Team chessjerk and you want to get all the hearts. Which is, if you do, that's cool.
And that's also an objective in the aforementioned Valentine's Day races to get all the hearts.
Yeah, that's the fun. That's the most fun part of it, is getting the 16 hearts. Okay, Kingdahl into 8. This is where everything he needs other than the ladder is. The question is he going to be able to do much here?
I don't think so, because that Dig Dogger room that CJ saw is where I believe the bow is.
Yep, we have that ladder block to the top, so unless this room here to the left is a transport, that's gonna be about all we can do.
All 3 of the mini Dig Doggers have been taken down. There's a stair. Survey says... Bam!
All right. Well, that has to feel like a big... Well, it's a relief in one sense. It's good for Kingdahl in 2 respects. He's got the bow, of course, but it's going to force him to go elsewhere and start digging items, because he still needs that ladder.
And chat pointing out that the level 8 transport was seen earlier. And for CJ, he is in no mode. He knows that he doesn't need anything else out of here other than the Triforce.
And with a beefy 7, yeah, that has to feel great. Now, oddly enough, having the ladder means that that's going to open some pathways up to him that Kingdahl didn't necessarily take. Kingdahl didn't spend a ton of time in here finding his Triforce. We'll see how long CJ spends in here.
Chat bringing up a point. Will he miss the silvers in 8? Now, that's not for me to say. It is to be determined if Kingdahl digs that out 8 or gambles on silvers being in 9, which would be a reasonable play, because at that point between 8 and 9 it's a 50-50. But it's also a first quest level 9, which has 6 sets of transports and only 2 spots for items. But speaking of items, we're about to see what level 3 had hiding for it from CJ, and it was...
It's 1 out of 4 chance it's Power Bracelet. Oh, it's a heart.
And CJ's in 6. Which has a raft that he's just going to leave there on the floor. I did not see chat. Did CJ get to that Triforce or no? Chat says no. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see him get it either. He may be thinking, oh, well, that's a shape.
Oh my goodness, this might be one of the wilder looking level 6s I have ever seen. And 6 in shapes can do some stuff. Because I've seen it get upwards of 42, 43 rooms.
Yeah, 6 can
You can kind of see where 6 connects to 4 in the center of that ink blot.
Yeah, you kind of can. So that is either, I don't know if CJ's screen is frozen or if he's just kind of taking a second here, but that either looks like a watering can or a gas can, or it's like an overweight ET like kicking his leg out.
I do like an overweight ET. Jeez.
Yeah. That's
a good one.
He's been eating too many Reese's Pieces, I think.
As well as some other things that humans have fed him that he shouldn't eat.
Yeah, there's that too.
An open oven. Now that's a good one in the wintertime, because it gets cold, and if the oven's done, you just leave it open a crack, and you get some extra heat into where you live. Random thing to do from time to time, as long as the oven's off, that is.
Yeah, that's we have home we have Zelda and we have home tips here on Speed Gaming 3 today. All right, Kingdahl's looking for the floor item here in 3. He doesn't know that this is the right answer for him. But the ladder's not in this room. I'm trying to remember where in 3 it is. It may be down in the bottom half.
I think it's to the right of this room, if I'm remembering it right.
Okay. Yeah, because it was a surprise to both of us, and it just poof appeared on the floor. So we'll have our answer here in a second.
And CJ sees the heart, and he's like, yeah, I gotta have heart, but I also gotta have my bow, so that's not gonna help. He might be thinking it's red ring. Well, he ain't gonna find it in a dungeon.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting a red ring unless he stumbles upon it by accident, given its location. Oh, yep, you're right. This is our ladder room. Poof! There it is.
There it is for Kingdahl. So now Kingdahl's in Triforce and Go mode. Oh, shoot for CJ.
Okay, so we've got 8 and 6 left to complete. Kingdahl fluting to 5.
My goodness! This entire corner of the dungeon is segmented off by shoot rooms. That's so diabolical, and I love it.
Oh, it's one. Is this one of those required, not required transports where it doesn't look segmented, but really in practice it is?
Yeah, in practice this is totally segmented. As Kingdahl's now into 8. He just needs to find the silvers, and then he really is in Triforce and Go. We're in no, as in no mode, that is.
Yeah. So routing is going to determine whether Kingdahl finds the silvers or not here. He hasn't seen any of the... Or no, he's seen the bow. He has not seen the silvers yet. And we know that the silvers are in... And both silvers and the bow are in a stair because the floor item here is a heart.
Yep. There's a Triforce from 6 for CJ. Where does he go from here? I'm assuming back to 8, but he could go back to 7.
Yeah, he needs Triforce out of 7, and I think he's seen 2 of the 3 items out of 8. So, if you're rooting for chessjerk, the worry is that he's gonna go to 9 before he goes to 8. Similarly for Kingdahl, the worry is he sees the Triforce right here. Does he go to 9 before digging the silvers out of this 8?
We'll have our answer soon enough, but CJ is here. What are you doing? Kingdahl's backing out. This is not good for Team Kingdahl here. And yes, CJ knows the bow is here. In fact, he's in the room. He's beat the Dig Dogger.
This is the...
And...
Yeah, this is the transport. Or no, you're right. Yep. This is the bow.
This is the bow, and that's going to put CJ in Triforce and Go mode at 56-37 in a row.
Yeah, I think they all have to be in a row. But yeah, he's off to 7. He's going to probably flute to 6, which is what he's done here. And 7's just 3 screens over. And then 9 is down the bottom of the river, not far from Vanilla's start. So that's going to involve fluting probably to 5 after that. Oh no, Kingdahl got hit with a fireball. He was trying to flute where he wanted to go.
And the fireball cost him his ride. How rude.
Alright, chessjerk with mags and silvers just mowing down the enemies in his path at this point.
And that has to feel good. Except when you get hit by a bubble, of course.
Yeah, bubbles. Even the first quest bubbles are just annoying. There's your map you don't need. You can burn it all you want. It's made of asbestos. It ain't going anywhere.
I think this was the Triforce room, and that's the yucky part.
Oh, chessjerk's to be careful, down to half a heart here. He is going to use a potion. He's not interested in getting sent back to start.
Okay, I was mistaken. It was a key.
Alright, here's our push block for Kingdahl. I think this was the transport. Yeah, it's the transport, and he's not interested. He'll only check that. He'll only check for the stair item in 6, which we haven't seen, and is either a heart or a croissant, unless he comes across it.
So it was a heart. CJ came across it. And speaking of CJ coming across things, he just came across level 7 Triforce. He's off to level 9.
59 minutes in, and we have, as Moonrisen Phoenix likes to say, chessjerk has a ticket to 9. And oh, hey, we have a mugger. We didn't see this on Kingdahl's side before.
We saw this on CJ's side,
Oh, did
and name that recorder tune on CJ's side. I know what it is, but I wonder who else in chat can pick up on it.
I guarantee you I'm not going to know what it is. So, chat, go for it.
While chat's going for that, I'm gonna go for what we're looking for in this level 9. It's roar and door, it is pig and brig. The roar references a roar you hear when Ganon is in an adjacent room because he is so loud, even soundproof walls can't contain the sound. And then the brig, the door. That's a single shutter door that'll stay closed when a room is fully cleared. Or it pops open if you've beaten Ganon. Beat Ganon, get the pig, punch your ticket to the upper bracket.
Kingdahl getting this same bad news that CJ got about the shoot rooms, the pair of shoot rooms.
Oh, hi, Zelda. That was easy.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, and Gel's guard. Well, thanks, dude. We don't need your compass, even if it's guarded by the easiest enemy in the game, because she's just two doors away. I don't know if you knew that.
Now, the only thing that concerns me about this 9 to this point is that it doesn't appear to have heard of this thing called doors.
Yeah, I am concerned about bomb count. The other thing we haven't seen, at least in these first few rooms, are available bomb droppers. So they have to be somewhere here in this dungeon. But the last thing that CJ wants to be doing at this stage is having to leave 9 to go get bombs.
I think I just heard a roar.
Ooh, okay.
Yep, roar confirmed. North of this room. This is a good time to go for the 10.
Well done, and we can get into Ganon's room from the south.
And speaking of, here's Ganon. River Room's a bit gross, but it'll take only 4 hits with the magical sword. However, CJ has to be careful because a high roll driver will do 4 hearts of damage.
There's 3. Oh, he almost got driver right there.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of drivers, he almost ate one right there, but down goes Ganon. We got our bacon, and CJ has the path to the princess.
He is mere steps away from punching his ticket to the brackets and a 3-0 record in Swiss. Meanwhile, Kingdahl entering level 9 right about now. There's
Get
the
your
door.
GG's in chat for CJ, who is taking the win, moves to 3-0. He's off to the upper bracket. What's the official time?
1 hour, 2 minutes, and 46 seconds. That is a jet time from one of the best runners in this field, chessjerk.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
And the funny thing is that Kingdahl is going to take a very similar route to what CJ did. Yep, that room's going to be a whole lot of nothing. He'll go down, bomb to the right, and probably stumble upon the path to both the girl. Well, the girl's right here, and find Ganon in relatively short order.
Yeah, this was a very simple level 9. And one of the big differences in this seed is you see that 0 on CJ's completed file. He did not take a single death in this entire seed on green ring. Absolutely, truly impressive.
Very impressive. And taking deaths given where our runners started at the grave, that's an inconvenient spot to start. So the fact that you didn't lose any time by taking a death unnecessarily is really impressive.
Kingdahl very close. He's going to take the stair. I don't think this is going to help. Or it does. It totally does. Because he's right there. I was being a dummy.
Okay, we're working on getting chessjerk here in the booth here. Discord is doing rate limiting Discord things at the moment, so we're gonna see if we can get a link over to him.
And Kingdahl is taking another set of stairs, but they go about as far away as possible. Did he not try bombing? I know he didn't. And there's a heart that he is thinking about picking up, but has decided, nah. Does get a bomb hole to the left. And a refill.
Yeah, not having the silvers here means he's going to have to check every stair looking for items, and the question becomes, at what point, like if this is an item right here, do you jump out and go somewhere else? It's not. It's a transport. As we're joined in the booth by our race winner this afternoon, chessjerk, GG CJ. Very well done.
Thank you very much. How are you doing this afternoon?
Doing well, CJ. That was a fantastic race, and one of the big differences we noted is that despite not having found red ring, you finish, or any ring for that matter, you still finished the seed 0 deaths. That is truly impressive.
Thank you. I think I got lucky a few times, dodging some Wizro beams and Lionel swords, but as I always say, better lucky than good.
Oh, certainly. And they got interesting midway through because you had the ladder first. Kingdahl had the recorder first. The big difference at the end is that you got the silvers first out of 8. Kingdahl got the Triforce and bailed.
Given where it was, that is not surprising. I mean, I definitely had concerns when I found level 2 kind of late, because I always, obviously doing Death Mountain late is the thing that I usually do. And seeing White Sword and Recorder pretty much free right in the beginning, and knowing I needed the Recorder, that was a bit of a concern.
Understandably so. I could also consider myself concerned if I saw that. But on the plus side, it was not free silver, arrows, free bow. In fact, you had to work for it.
Sure did.
Sure.
Sure did. The book paying off dividends. I'm not sure. I can't remember the last time I actually went to a hint shop and bought 3 hints that I had not known about yet. That was a refreshing change.
Yeah, I know, right? Usually the hints are stuff you've seen, a community hint, and sail not to save the princess. Oh wait, that's consternation. Never mind.
Oh yeah, so I mean, no, you usually get step across the water, get the heart container. Yeah, thanks game. That's true. You have no idea how helpful that is.
So when you got that hint about play a melody to obtain the bow, you were thinking. I mean, you hadn't seen the stair item in 3. There were some dungeons you hadn't seen yet. How did you decipher that?
Well, I knew that the staircase item in 3 was recorder blocked. I had that noted. So that was my first thought. And then I noticed the next room over from there was, a dig dogger in the maze room. So I said, okay, now we have two possibilities for where the bow is. But I did confirm that I was blocked from the last item in 8 by going into every other room. And knowing that the dig dogger blocked something, odds are if it wasn't the bow, then there are 2 recorder blocked items. It's either 3 or it's 8. And then the hint that I bought confirmed that it was 8. So that was a nice confirmation to get. I probably should have gone back to 8 sooner. I did level 6 after getting the recorder and before going back to 8, and I felt bad about that because that could have been, especially after seeing a Goma in 7 and thinking, oh, the Triforce could have been there, but luckily it wasn't. So luckily it didn't make a difference in this case, but it definitely could have. Probably should have done that a little bit differently.
Yeah, there was one thing in level 4 that Kingdahl saw that you did not. That would be a Goma. You took the path that went away from it.
Aha, I see. I am genuinely curious where the red ring is, because I'm guessing it's recorder blocked.
It is. It is our white sword item.
Oh, I know. I figured. I see that. I'm looking on the restream, but my issue is on my overworld. I have very little left besides recorder checks.
Second quest 3, first quest 2. That lake.
Ah, there you go. Yes. So.
You were given at the time you got that hint, and the fact that I think at that time you knew where all the dungeons were. Yeah, you were never going there.
Nope. And I was thinking about, because I've been burned by that in other races for sure. When the white sword item is something, and you have already found all your dungeons. Do you do it at 9? Do you dig the overworld? And luckily, this time I had virtually no hint on where it was or what it was, and luckily it was not required, although it would have been nice to have.
Bad break for Kingdahl. Mugger room and the bomb does nothing.
I had worries when I heard Ganon from 2 sides and only had 3 bombs left, so that was not good. But
it was in this room here that Kingdahl's in with the Moldorms. Yeah, you immediately took the bop and said, perfect time to set up a force, and nailed it.
I was not going to get blocked out of Ganon's room by having no bombs. I was not letting that happen.
That already happened to me earlier in the week, so it was a good thing you didn't let fall for the same mistake I did.
Yeah, I think
cost me the race.
Oh yeah, I think I've been burned by that so many times. I probably kill more bomb droppers than I should, just in general, because I've been burned by lack of bomb. Even if I'm only 2 bombs off max, I'll still kill a bomb dropper just in case. Because it always seems like, even after all that I did in this heat, I still almost ran out of bombs at the end. So I think it's treated me well so far, but it definitely could be considered a time loss for sure.
And I think you both bought bomb upgrades?
I sure did. I found one room into level 5, I think. It was vanilla for 1% over the minimum, 1% over the price, the usual price. So, not quite vanilla, not quite French vanilla, but what's another kind of vanilla? I don't know. That's not quite vanilla, but mostly vanilla. I'm not sure if there's another.
Let's
variety.
See. What other? Is CD still in chat? She would know.
And I do see the most important comment in chat. Why did I skip the heart in the staircase in 6? Ooh, cherry vanilla. That's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Mexican vanilla. Yeah, that's also good.
I mean, I definitely had reservations because I did find, 3 take any hearts before finding a candle shop. And it was super tempting to take the free candle on the third one, thinking, I'm 20 minutes into the seat. I don't have a candle yet. This could be a problem. But
yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I mean,
yeah,
because you're right, you saw 3 of them, but were you just thinking that, well, come on, there's got to be a candle shop somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, and I definitely have had seeds where the only candle shop is deep on Death Mountain, and that's a super problem for sure.
Oh yeah,
but that's it's tough to fight the memes. I've set this up in a certain way, and See, the problem is now if I do that, it's heart or riot, and I don't know if I could handle the riot part.
Yeah. Well, the other thing you did, which is kind of becoming my thing to do, is you found mags at 10 hearts and you checked it, and 1 in 5 paid off.
Well, I mean, I did. It kind of worked out. That was going to happen no matter what. I think when I got the book, I had a hint shot marked, and I had a white or magical sword hint marked right next to each other, and I was heading towards the Deadwoods anyway. So I checked both. I bought all the hints, and then I checked that other hint, because I mean, obviously with no white sword item, I'm kind of like, what's the white sword item? Where is it? Can you give me a hint for that? But then it told me where Mags was instead. So I thought, okay, I'm going to head that way anyway. So that'll be. I would have found it no matter what, and I just happened to have 10 hearts when I found it. So I think in one case, I guess the late candle actually helped, because I probably would have dug that area much sooner if I'd had a candle, and I didn't, and it worked out this time. I mean, I would have had the white sword anyway, because I would have had it, 2 minutes later. So it wouldn't have been so bad. But I mean, 10 heart mags, nothing sweeter.
Yeah, that was a definite feels good moment.
Oh yeah, it just validates my whole play about getting all the hearts. I mean, that's what it's all about right there. It's when you get a 4 heart red candle and a 10 heart mags. That's why you take all the free hearts.
Yeah. Only the red candle or the white sword item.
Well, that even better. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, Kingdahl's going to save. He's out of bombs. So where's he off to? Oh, yeah, the other thing you might not know is that, you wouldn't know. Red ring white sword item was the full 6 hearts. So
oh, nice.
Your strategy would have paid off had you made your way over there.
I mean, you keep validating my play. So I mean, I'm going to just keep grabbing hearts. You can't stop me.
The advantages are just too massive.
They are. I mean, people just don't understand. I can't wait to go back and watch as I take the third free heart to see how many comments in chat are, why doesn't he take a candle? I hope there are at least, I'm hoping the over-under is 2.5 people in chat who said something about that. That's my guess. So we'll see.
Oh, you're probably right. You're probably right on. But it's the Galaxy Brain play, and it paid off.
It is. The real Galaxy Brain that I was thinking about was when I went back to 7. After getting the bow, I think, okay, do I go right and kill the Goma in the tip of the nose, hoping the Triforce is there? And I thought, that's so unlikely, but do I do it? But then I went left and just forgot all about it. So luckily it wasn't the play anyway. But that would have been the ultimate Galaxy Brain play, to know to go to 8 for the bow before going back to 7 for the arrow block Triforce. I mean, that would have been a thing of beauty if it had been actually true.
Yeah, and you don't know this, but at the time, Kingdahl did not have the ladder, and you had to have the ladder to get into that Goma room. So,
oh, geez,
had that paid off, had that been the case, that would have spelled disaster for Kingdahl.
Yep. I definitely felt good about my play of buying a key to get back into 1, because I failed the 50-50 in the last 2 rooms of 1, because I had two key doors and 1 key left, and there's an item left. I thought, okay, which one do you guess? And I got Zelda's room. Thanks, game. That's not what I was looking for. Yeah. But then I had max money in the what was it? The arrow key candle shop, and it's almost exactly 255 rupees. It was like 253 for all 3. And being the math genius that I am, whenever I have like almost exact change for something, I have to buy it. So I mean, that's again probably another weakness of mine. But what are you gonna do?
No, as it turned out, yeah, we talked about that.
It helped, yeah, for sure.
It did, yeah. No, and we talked about it when it happened, that you were like, you're buying one of everything, please.
Yeah, that's right. I was hoping to get a package deal, but I didn't get anything. So they never give it a bulk discount. Where's my bulk discount? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's that 1% excise tax they had on the bomb upgrade.
Yeah, the economy of Hyrule. There's some questionable plays going on. I'm not sure.
Yeah, someone needs to go to Hyrule City Council meeting and bring that up.
I'll be there. But yeah, especially since I was seeing all these bunnies early on. That's why I kind of dipped out of 3 and 4 early. And having the wand for additional combat to fight the bunnies, definitely. And that obviously that felt good, because that led to the ladder in level 3, and It felt like a good route. It felt like a good idea, and it worked out, I think.
Yeah, both you and Kingdahl were in 1, 3, and 4 fairly early, and got your Triforces and exited, and then came back a little bit later to do cleanup on the items. So I think you both kind of had similar approaches there, and it paid off.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking because you want to try to. I mean, obviously, when you're in the 2-0 bracket, I mean, you're dealing with really good players, and Kingdahl is an excellent player, and you kind of want to play. You want think outside the box kind of play. So I even thought that I was doing that by taking the any roads far away from the starting area, and because I mean, if you look at how my map progresses, it starts in the starting area, but then goes all the way. Because I was going for Armos. And unfortunately, I picked the wrong Armos, but luckily it wasn't. I was really worried that Armos was White Sword. White Sword or something, and I would have felt really far behind if that had been the case because I didn't get that until probably 15 minutes. But I went that way because I saw there was a take any road over there. I was like, okay, I'll check the Armos while I'm over here, even though I had barely dug anything near where the starting area was, and then found 1, 3, and 4 and found good stuff. I thought, okay, that's a decent play. Seems like it worked out well.
Yeah, no, we talked about it a little bit at the time. That it's like, oh, all the good stuff's over here. That's nice. So that's the silvers for Kingdahl. So he's going to screen scroll here one more time, go back into 9. I believe he knows both the path to the girl and where Ganon is. So this should be a straight shot for him.
It was a pretty straightforward 9, I will say that.
Yeah,
nines like that are always nice when they're straightforward, no tricks about it.
Yeah, when you find Zelda early on, and then you take a staircase, and it takes you like 2 rooms away from Ganon, you really feel good about that because obviously, if you just ignore staircases when you don't need items, if you ignore staircases and just take doors, I mean, obviously, depending on where Ganon is, either one could be the right play at that right time. But this time, taking the first staircase, all of a sudden I heard the roar, and I thought, okay, it's gonna be like a 15-room 9 or so. Just got to find the right bomb hole.
Yeah, you certainly did that.
I thought it was nice too. Though I went up in the first room, after the first room of 9, and I tried bombing all the walls, and none of them bombed. I'm thinking, wow, there is one way into this level 9, and it took you right to Zelda. So I mean, you couldn't not find Zelda in this seed because you were literally forced into her room, or next to her room rather.
So Kingdahl closing in. He has to go left and bomb up here. Well, not in that room. Excuse me. A little bit of seed bleed between seeds. Happens.
Yep, this is the one. Here we go.
I did play a seed before this, and I did a Malchior on that one. I full cleared that seed pretty hard. To find silvers on the floor in 7. Yeah, that's always fun.
Oh. Yeah, that's
Saver metrics play. So Kingdahl's going to need 8 hits with the White Sword. 1 heart on a Hyrule driver if he gets hit.
I was concerned because Ganon spawned right on top of me on the last hit. I don't know how I didn't take a hit. I need to watch a replay of that one because I mean I was on 5 hearts, so I wasn't going to die, but bit of a scare for sure.
Yeah, we talked about it when it happened. We both kind of jump scared and we're like, oh no.
That fireball bounced me right back into where his spawn was. I don't know how physics works on that one. Or as we used to say, physics. F-I-Z-Z-I-K-S.
And with one final turn, get your GGs in chat for Kingdahl, who finishes strong. And the race was really closer than the final time would indicate. The final time being
1 hour, 21 minutes, and 50 seconds. Yeah, and Kingdahl said in the race room, GG's toured to 9, which is, that's kind of what happened. Silvers happened to be an 8.
Yeah, I think I saw the internal map of Explored 9. That was a pretty well explored level 9, I think.
So, CJ, you're 3-0, so that means you have automatically qualified for the bracket stage in this tournament. How you feeling?
Hooray! I'm not worried about that.
Okay. Well, good.
The bracket's the hard part. The Swiss is the easy part. The bracket's, the bracket's where I struggle. That's the problem. I mean, it's you can look at anyone can look at my history in brackets, and I think I've spent more time in lower brackets than upper brackets. That's always fun. You get to play twice as many matches down there. It's I need to play. But no, it's I mean, it feels good. I mean, obviously the competition for me has been has been very, very strong, as you would expect. And, and it's only going to get more fun from here. So we'll see what happens.
All right. And we are joined in the booth now by Kingdahl as well. GG's Kingdahl. Very well played seed.
GG.
GG, Kingdahl.
GG. Chess jerk.
I got lucky and found the silvers in the right spot. That was my advantage.
I came to 8 so late that it was like, no, we're not gonna see the rest of 8 this time.
It was tempting. I saw the early Triforce and I thought, my problem is I hadn't seen any items because I didn't have the recorder yet, so I couldn't get the bow, so I had no items. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna keep going and see what I find, and then I found the silvers and then the heart and then full clear looking for the item only to realize it was blocked. So, yeah, but when you see silvers after a Triforce in a big dungeon, that's a recipe for disaster if you don't dig it right away.
I felt like I had a good start hitting Death Mountain there with the flute, and it kind of opened up, and then it said, use the flute to get the bow, and then the next room.
Literally the next room. Yep.
That's great.
Yep. Unfortunately, I didn't find 2 until after I had mags, so the free white sword didn't help me at all. So that was, and then I definitely had some concern when I found the white sword and recorder free in 2 at about 50 some minutes. I thought, that's could have been useful earlier. Thanks, game.
Yeah, and then I spent 20 minutes in 9 or something.
Yeah, I saw you did quite the full tour of 9. It looked like, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't find the second item, and I didn't find the stair number 6, but it was not good.
They're in there somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, from our tracking, the only things that the only items that we didn't see on either runner's side were the items in 7 and the other item in 9. I think they could only be heart containers or the power bracelet you already started with.
That would have been a nice touch for the game to put the power bracelet in 9, knowing we didn't need it. That would have been nice. Did the power bracelet block anything? I don't even remember now.
Let's see. It blocked the letter.
The letter, yeah.
And maybe one of the large secrets, but otherwise, no.
I've been finding that to be the case a lot. Whatever your starting item is tends to be not all that useful, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, it was a nice big secret.
For sure.
I only found 1 though, so it wasn't really good. Like if you put the average, it was.
Yeah, right.
It was sub 50.
I found 1 in the northeast on the bomb spot, and I found 1 in the forest under a candle spot. Oh, the other one's on the coast by the coast item. So I found all 3 pretty quickly.
I think my overworld was some of the best I've ever done. It was like, oh, here's a level, and then oh no, now we gotta go into levels, level 8 and 6 and 7.
Yeah, it sounds like we did something similar at the start because we both found 1, 3, and 4 early.
Yeah, and then I went to Death Mountain and found 2. But the thing is, I skipped the items in 3. I think that was the biggest. If I'd done 3 when I was in there, but I didn't have a map and I had wood sword and 3 hearts, and so I left, which wasn't really great. But you don't want to be stuck in levels early either without a map, and it's I don't know.
Yeah, I think the ladder was key blocked. That was my problem. That I ran out of keys in 1. I don't think I had any keys in 3. I canana keyed 1 door in 3, I think. But yeah, I couldn't even get to the ladder without finding a key somewhere else.
Yeah, that's probably true. Because when I came back to 1 and 3, I had the any key, so that was the problem solved there.
That was a nice find. I think I had 1 key at the time when I found it, and I thought that was a nice find. But I also figured out that the hint for play a melody for the bow could have applied to 3 also, because the other item in 3 was recorder blocked.
Yeah, I only saw that hint 15 seconds before I got it.
You didn't have the same problem I did in that area.
No, I was kind of hoping that it was going to be a transport to Beyond. I don't even know if the randomizer would do that, but I don't know.
It could.
It's one way of getting around the ladder block, but
It would have had to put it into a quasi segment in 8 to find the bow. I mean, or like you're saying, if it blocks, if it's either the recorder or the ladder blocking the bow or something like that.
That's what I was thinking. It was a slim chance, but like I wanted to go beyond.
Yeah, for sure.
But the game cut me off.
How dare you, game?
Yeah, it's that ladder. That ladder has always been troubling.
It is. That's its job.
Sneaky.
Well, this was a very closely contested race, pretty much all the way through until the 9 entries. Both of you. Kingdahl, you didn't have the ladder, but Chester didn't know the location of 2 and didn't have the recorder for the longest time either. So we were in the booth here. We were kind of sitting on pins and needles, thinking, okay, who's going to find the necessary item they need first? And it turned out you both kind of found those items not too far apart, but yeah, the silvers ended up being the difference here.
Yeah, I think if I find the 2 items in 9 early, that's my only chance. But I did not. It was so deep, and it was only stairs, and it went around and around. So that's the luck part of this. But I mean, chessjerk is way better than me at this. So.
That's debatable. We need to get back to the router's relish. Yeah, we need to get back to that. That's where our skill truly comes out, I think.
Yes, you need to join the next Routermania.
Yes, definitely. I've gotten away from that, and I feel bad about that. So I will be in next time I see it.
That's great.
Yeah, no, that is a fun event. And I Kingdahl, you may be talking me into trying it out too, because
it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a fun puzzle to solve. So, well, you both played great. This was a really fun race to watch. It went back and forth. I had it circled on the calendar for a reason, and boy, I'm glad to be here. Any final thoughts as we kind of wrap this up? Both of you guys put on a really great show for us, and we really appreciate it.
I guess sorry for making you wait so long. Then you can blame our differing time zones for that. When I'm working 50 hours a week right now, and I can't play during the day, and there's a 6-hour whatever time difference, 7-hour time difference, then kind of we have to do it we have to make time zones work. So, but yes, GG Kingdahl, absolutely an honor to play you. I don't know if I've ever played you head to head before. I cannot remember for sure, but
I think we may have, but we
may have once.
It was too long ago, so neither will remember.
Yes, it was a while ago, I'm sure. But yeah, and also thanks for comms and tracking as always. It's always a pleasure, and I guess we'll see you all next week. Remember the wheel tomorrow night,
8 p.m. Eastern for the wheel.
Yeah, thanks for the restream and tracking and commentating. I'm sure it was a good race for the first 8 levels. That's all you can ask for in this, because I mean, you're gonna have to gamble. I'm not gonna go into 8. I've seen the best players. They would do what I did, but they would find the silvers in 9. That's the difference.
Sometimes you just gotta be better lucky than good. I keep saying that. Nothing wrong with that.
Sometimes a play that works one day will not work the next. That's the nature of Randomizer. This was a great race. And this was a great race, and you know what they say, CJ? Good things come to those who wait, and we definitely had a good thing today in terms of a very good race.
Amen to that.
Yeah, let's talk about level 6, because at first the map was blocked for me, and then it was a very interesting way to get around because it didn't connect, and that was a mess.
Oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that. The double shoot block in the top left corner. I saw that and I thought, oh man.
And then I forgot about that. And then I took the stair and then it didn't work. That didn't work either.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, it was a nice shapes. I love a bit of shapes.
I love shapes. Absolutely. We need more shapes.
That was definitely amusing to see. A shoot room that you can't get past.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
And we also had some fun name that ink blots with level 6 in particular. So
excellent. I hope so.
I'll save that surprise for you both.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. Well, GG's guys, thank you very much for a wonderful Saturday afternoon, and Kingdahl, in your case, Saturday evening race. And best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Best of luck to the both of you, and please be sure to give both of our runners a follow, chessjerk and Kingdahl. They both put on a fantastic race, and also feel free to give myself or bbq.gov, as well as our trackers Seru X, a follow if you feel so inclined. With that, our next race is at the top of the hour in 25 minutes' time on SpeedGaming Prime to wrap up Zelda 1 Randall for the day. Jam Evil versus Catastrophe. You don't want to miss that, folks.
Oh, that's going to be a fun race. I can't wait for that. Yeah, Leslie, this was a ton of fun. Thanks to you for hanging out with me. Thanks to our tracker Seru UX behind the scenes, making us look smart, and everyone behind the scenes doing setup and everything. This was a great way to spend a Saturday.
Oh, for sure, BBQ. This was an absolute blast. For everybody else out there, we'll see you next time for our tracker and IcoConBBQ.gov and everybody behind the scenes of SpeedGaming. I'm Leslie Pro. Stay kind, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.